When the clock strikes midnight on December 31st, it's not just the start of a new year, it's the start of new possibilities for your finances. Schoolsfirst Federal Credit Union is here to share practical tips for setting New Year's financial resolutions that actually stick. Here to help is Travis Marra, Roseville Branch Manager from Schoolsfirst Federal Credit Union. Hey, Travis.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so Travis, so many of us, we start the year off strong. And then, as things kind of come down the line, they fizzle out. So we start the year off strong, but those goals, they just tend to fade fast. So how can we set financial goals that don't fizzle out?
And I know exactly what you're talking about. I think we've all set those New Year resolutions only to see them fall by the wayside. And, one key point to making those goals stick is setting SMART goals. And what that means is making them, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. This really can kind of turn your resolutions into clear, manageable steps and help you kind of keep that motivation all year long.
Yes, we need those. Okay, so let's get into the specifics. How can we make sure our financial goals are SMART, like you said?
Yeah, you really want to start by being as specific as possible. So instead of saying, hey, I want to save more money, try saying I'm going to save $200 each month into like an emergency fund. This way you can kind of take a vague idea and turn it into kind of a concrete plan. This will help you stay focused all year. And one thing to keep in mind is the more specific you are, really the easier it is to track your success throughout the year.
Okay, and you mentioned tracking, so how can we make sure we're on the right path with our goals?
Yeah, and that is a great question, and keeping track of that progress is so important. So you want to make your goals measurable so you can see how far you've come. Little things such as you can access your bank. There's tracking tools to keep track of budgets, or even just a simple spreadsheet. Anything really that can help you watch all those little victories kind of add up and keep us motivated throughout the year.
And let's talk about the big goals, because sometimes they can feel a little bit overwhelming at times. So any tips for managing those?
Yeah, absolutely. Big goals can seem very daunting, so keeping them achievable is very important. Try breaking them up into smaller kind of steps, so to speak. And if you were, say, by chance you wanted to pay off $3,000 of debt this year, try looking at it as $250 a month. Breaking it into smaller steps makes it much more doable. These large goals can seem much more doable without feeling that overwhelming feeling.
Yeah. Is there ever a time when a goal might be just a little bit too ambitious?
Yeah, and that's where keeping them realistic is very important. What you want to do is look at your income, look at your expenses, and set targets that are challenging but possible. It is much more important to succeed at a modest goal than to fall short on a large goal. That will, prevent us from feeling that discouragement towards our goals and more encouraged.
And finally, Travis, how do we keep ourselves committed throughout the entire year?
Yes, and that's where the final T, the timeliness, comes in. You really want to give each of your goals a clear timeline. For example, saying I'm going to save $1,000 by June is far more effective than saying I'm going to save money when I can. Deadlines do keep us on track, and they provide that little kind of sense of urgency that we need to reach our goals. And as always, for more information on budgeting and setting SMART goals, visit us at schoolsfirstfcu.org.
Yeah, I like the idea of creating specific goals, because I always say, I want to save money, and it's like, that's great, be more specific.
And they just become a dream or a wish without that specific details, and it becomes the plan.
We got to make it practical.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for helping us.
Yeah, our pleasure. Thank you.
All right, to our viewers, you can visit one of the many Schoolsfirst Federal Credit Union branch locations as seen on the screen. And you can find out more online by going to schoolsfirstfcu.org.